How to draw a complicated item. For example, a microphone. Hi, I'm Seb. This is Alas Cartoon Hero, a show with hot drawing tips and a cooler art mind. There's a couple of challenges here, right? So if you have problem with connecting round shapes, that's going to be a challenge. And then the most complicated one is when we are drawing a wire, the other side of the wire needs to be parallel to the first one, and it's super difficult to get those two shapes being the same. So don't worry if you don't get them 100% right. It's actually cool not to have them correct, because then it gives you some humanity in it rather than being perfect, which is really hard to obtain and not a goal I would strive to. When drawing complicated items, it's first of all you need to find references. So I actually drew this. This is gonna be the third time I'm drawing this. Oh man, I'm making a mess here. Okay, so this is the first time I drew it. I was quite okay with it, but the connector is not correct here. If you look at the real boom mic, it's not gonna be looking like this. And then I decided, okay, I'm gonna make a more podcast mic, gaming, streaming mic, more typical shape here. And again, I overcomplicated too much, and third time I decided to go back to the roots, get back to the source, find a reference and stick to that reference. Of course, use your creative license, you know, if you feel like it. If you're just starting, just be close to the reference and go for it. Now we're gonna do a cool music when I draw this, because probably I won't be able to talk about stuff when I'm drawing, and then we're gonna get I'm gonna give you a conclusion at the end. Maybe I'll try to talk over this, maybe that's gonna work. Okay, so why is it so dark, and why is it out of... Oh no, don't you move those cameras again. Out of focus, there, normal. Okay, let's just leave it there. Anyhow, so I'm using 0.3 pigment liner. This is the best for everything. Like a baseline, it's the best. Then for smaller things, of course, you can have the... You can have, more narrow liners. I don't like connecting stuff. Sometimes I do. I used to be very worried about having smooth lines and connecting them in the same stroke, but actually you can just break and then connect it. Once you get good at line art, it's gonna be much easier, and people won't see that it's actually few attempts at the same line art and the connection wasn't made at the same time when you were drawing it. What I mean by that is, like, let's say I'm drawing the line here and I stop, and then I continue drawing the line, and people won't notice that, that was 2 strokes, not 1. But that's a high level of skill. This drawing, it's a complicated one. So from scale of hardness, from 1 to 10, how hard it is to draw this kind of illustration item, I would give it 6.5. But it's good to focus on one item and actually to zoom in on it. This way you won't be as stressed as if you were drawing something huge and very detailed. So it's super cool and helpful to be working on something on zoom-ins. Okay, now 0.1 for more finer lines. And if you want the best finer line, it's 0.05, which is this. And that's how it looks there. In Europe, I use Stadler. It's a great brand. And in America, you have microns. And then, and this is for my comic book debut. and there's a lot of Easter eggs and references to pop culture. Also, I don't want to get into the copyright hell, so instead of this microphone brand, which is called Shure or Shura or Shuri, German, so Shure, I'm just using SHU. Even the S doesn't look like S, and that's fine. Is this in focus? Out of focus? Normal. It's not really that in focus, isn't it? Is it? It's this trouble with these damn phones, man. What if I try to do normal? Autofocus, normal, macro, continuous, infinity. I don't know what infinity means. Oh, there you go. Infinity doesn't give you much. Micro. No, not the cameras again. Micro seems to be exactly the same. Just go normal for now. Maybe I'll move it a little bit here so it's going to be easier to see. Okay. So 0.5 also for the nuts, for screws, and add some cool shade. Well, the shade isn't that cool, but it adds depth. Now you can exaggerate it and make it much more black on one side, because it's all about exaggeration in creativity, because that's what looks most interesting. And you know, I'm not sticking to the actual shape of the microphone from the references as much because I don't care about it, and it would be much more boring for me. And then we got the mesh, or however you call it. I like drawing this because it kind of comes automatically to me. I don't have to think about it anymore, which is a benefit when you've been drawing for a long time. And I've been drawing for quite some time. But because of my my drive to perfection, I was not able to complete my first debut comic book for almost 15 years, but hopefully that's gonna stay at 15 and I'm gonna finish it this year. And this is the illustration from this. And as you see, is this not in focus again? I don't know, man. I need a... No. It's not perfect, but it does the job, you know? Sorry for showing you finger. I meant nothing by it. I'm just trying to focus on that microphone, and I think I'm not able. So like this is perfect zoom here, whereas if I move it here, now it's in focus, of course, when it's moved that far away. And yeah, okay. I'll figure it out one day. So now I'm moving to 0.1. This is a metal part, and this is the rubber part of the wire. Still 0.1. I could use 0.2, but the difference would be very small to notice. And a lot of times I am using ruler for straight lines. I used to have a 15 centimeter ruler, but I lost it somewhere, so I'm now using the 30 centimeter one, which is like 12 inches. It's not even, which I love. And it's not gonna be easy for me to show you this, but I'm gonna try. So again, 0.3. And you know, this, although it's a complicated drawing and it takes time to actually figure it out, how to draw with the composition, that's what takes the most time. You can just use my illustration and recreate it and practice on that, and that will do the job. And then I'm gonna use probably Photoshop, and I'm gonna stitch those two together. Now to make it more interesting, I would move to 0.1, so the lines aren't exactly the same thickness. Also, I know that I need to stop sooner because the line goes too far away. and then it overlaps with the other line, like the wire line, for example. Here we're gonna have a bolt, a screw, and a, how do you call this? The ziggy line. So I need to remember about that as well because it's in front. And the most difficult part will be the wire to have those two shapes parallel. It's not a word I would use often. There's a lot of words that I don't use often. And you know, even if it's not the same thickness, nobody cares. So don't don't you worry about that. Okay, so now the most difficult part is to actually recording yourself while drawing. Things get a bit messy there, but I think I got better with this over time. Okay, so now this line. Again, I am not trying to be 100% accurate. Where's the fun in that? So that's done. And now we can draw the wire. This video actually was supposed to be 5 minutes in my head. And if I was to edit this, it would be 5 minutes. So we are going under, this is under, and we are going over. See, now I'm making a break because I know my hand wouldn't be able to go smoothly forward. So we are connected here. Now I'm gonna move to point 2, that was point 3, and see what happens. I want to speak right now because I need to focus, alright? I'm sorry. Break. And there you go. Not perfect, but it does the job. Now I would normally wait a little bit or start with to erase so it doesn't smudge, but I just start with the line art I made before, so I know it's already dry and there won't be any smudges there. And now I need to add some blacks to make the contrast bigger and make it more interesting. Let me know what do you think about this lesson and what else you would like to see, what questions you have. I'll be happy to cover those ones because I would love this series to be helpful to you while I'm working on my comic to also help you along the way, answer any questions you might have if you're working on comic or on other stuff. And this is a detail in a comic, so it doesn't need, you know, crazy amount of perfection, quality. Really, I'm over perfection because it drains you and there's no fun in it. Like people would make so much, you know, so very detailed coloring and whatnot, but normally viewers, readers, they will just glance at it and it's the overall impression they get that's more important than those crazy details. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what else you would like to see. And if you've been watching that long, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Subscribe, give it a like, and I see you in the next one.